The Dan LeBatard Show with Stu Gatz is your official home for mayors. Remember, Carlos Jimenez went out to Pope Fest and made it Edwin Pope Day. We had Matt Santini, the mayor of Cartersville, Georgia,
my dude,
announce a Billy Guild Day. We've had Sean Casey on the program regularly. And now we have the esteemed mayor of Fort Wayne, Indiana, Mayor Tom Henry, on the line, as well as Joe, and we'll get to Joe in a second, the leader of the Fort Wayne Five. Wow. Mayor, thank you so much for taking the time out to join us and celebrating what is Dan LeBatard with Stu Gatz Day tomorrow in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Well, thank you. It's so much pleasure to be a part of your show.
How did this come across your desk, Mayor?
Well, people kept coming into my office referring to your show and Stu Gatz and the whole development of the occurrences that were taking place, and essentially told me if there was anything they could do it all to help me get on your show, that they were going to try to make it happen.
Now we're going to bring in Joe, who is the leader of the Fort Wayne Five, and I imagine, Joe, you had a lot to do with getting Mayor Henry's attention. Tell me what exactly you did.
Well, yeah, we just it started kind of as a grassroots thing on social media. As Billy said, I was a little bit of a chatty Cathy, trying to drum up some buzz,
exposing all our surprises.
Get people interested. Well, it was it's just a little bit of a morsel to get people interested is how I see it. But nevertheless, and so yeah, we Tommy, who called in, ended up being the real deal, and Tommy Shogler, and he kind of brought things to the mayor as well. So we ended up being a good team, and here we are.
Loose lips sink tight ships. I mean,
Joe, how many people have you annoyed on our behalf this week? Like, by the way, I don't want this to sound ungrateful. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for the support. But how many people have you been bothering over the past week and a half to make this happen?
Well, first and foremost, my wife, who's sitting right next to me. So she's number one. But I wouldn't say annoy. I'd say massage the situation is how I like to kind of phrase it.
So the town of Fort Wayne, Indiana, really stepped up to the plate and tried almost everything to get the entire show out there, including potentially hiring a charter jet. Initially, the conversations began with a minor league hockey team that was going to provide their team plane, and then the Mayor Tom Henry, who's on the line with us, was ready to provide a plane of his own.
We were going to go, Mayor Tom Henry. The show was going to go. Once we heard that you were the gangster who closed on the private plane, we said, yes, okay, we're going to go. We're going to surprise everybody. We're going to fly and bring some Miami to Fort Wayne. But then Disney's lawyers started urinating everywhere, and they said, you don't know this guy. You don't know this mayor. They questioned you. It was a whole thing. It was, where are you guys getting this plane? You can't just get on a plane. It might crash, and all of you would die, and that would be catastrophic.
Is there a question here, Dan?
That could happen on any plane.
So, Mayor, if you could give us some background on the plane drama.
Well, we do have access to several different private jets who were willing to come and pick you up and bring you back. But as you said, apparently various legal individuals felt that liability and other types of potential legal challenges might be put in place. So they kind
you
of
know how weak you are when the politician is the one taking the risks. You know how weak you are.
We were willing to do that, but
I know
unfortunately, a whole army of lawyers came out of nowhere and on both sides and said, no, that's not going to happen.
How much flying does the mayor of Fort Wayne, Indiana do?
I do quite a bit.
Really?
Well, we're about the 75th largest largest city in the country.
What?
And and we do communicate a lot with my colleagues all over the country.
What else can you tell us about Fort Wayne, Indiana, that we might find interesting as we learn about this beautiful
city?
Well,
we were going to be there. We were going to fly there.
It was a Thirsty Thursday.
Yes, yeah.
Well, we obviously are the home of a number of movie stars in the past. Bob Hope did his first vaudeville show here. So we have a great history there. The Detroit Pistons, they actually started in Fort Wayne. We sold them to Detroit some time ago to our dismay, but greater people than us made that decision. But I could go on and on about this is the home of John Hamm.
Please do.
You led with the home of Bob Hope's first vaudeville show.
Yes, and you did that, and I heard and saw Chris in the back go, that one thing, Bob Hope, so he didn't like that so much. But let's do this, Mike. Let's give the man the floor in exchange for all he's doing for us. Let him talk. Tell us everything he wants us to know about Fort Wayne.
Yeah, like does it have any nicknames?
If you want something a little more modern, how about Shelley Long? This is her home.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting close to the
getting
present
warmer,
day.
getting warm. Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Beverly Hills.
That's a little better.
Yeah.
That's a little bit better.
Home of DeMarcus Beasley, the national
Joe.
player.
You're
One at a time.
See what I'm
sports-oriented.
telling you about Joe?
You're sports-oriented. This is the place where Babe Ruth hit his longest home run. How
Wow.
about
Wait,
that?
how long was a home run,
Oh,
Mayor?
man.
Wow.
Actually, the story goes that he hit the home run that went out of the park and landed in or on a train, and it just kept right on going.
So it hasn't stopped.
Yankee Stadium used to be in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I mean, what's happening here? And by the way,
we
who's
have all
Wayne?
kinds of tidbits like that. So, but it's a great city. We have about 260,000 people. It is the second largest in Indiana, and as I mentioned, about the 75th largest in the country.
Who's
So
Wayne?
we're very proud of it.
I want to know who Wayne is.
Fort Wayne is named after General Anthony Wayne, who
Of course.
started the fort here initially. Unfortunately, took over from the Miami Indians, but did start the fort here. And the
Wait a
city
minute.
was named after.
What was that?
Whoa.
Unfortunately,
Whoa.
what happened there?
Well, in Miami, Ohio. But I guess we'll just make it Miami, Florida, and we're officially sister cities. So, Mayor, if we were to spend 6 hours in Fort Wayne, Indiana, what are some of the sites that we should see?
Well, we probably take you immediately to our relatively new baseball stadium. It's been named the #1 minor league stadium in the country several times. It's an absolutely beautiful facility. We built it to be sustainable and to constantly adjust to the various events that we offer in our community. We have everything from a walking, jogging course along the concourse that people can use it all day long. We have the concession stands are open during lunch hour, whether there's a game there or not. We try to make it more of a multi-use facility. It is more than a baseball stadium, although obviously that's the primary function. But it is an absolutely beautiful facility. We built about 10 years ago. It brings in roughly 500,000 people a year to our community. So it's been a tremendous offering as far as trying to make Fort Wayne a little more of a point of destination in Northeast Indiana.
You guys
That's probably the #1.
Indianapolis? Do you guys hate Indianapolis because you say we're the #2 city and you're very proud of this city, but the city that people know there is Indianapolis. So are you?
Well, Indianapolis has the Indianapolis 500, obviously, and they're about 4 times our size. I'll match my city against theirs any time if they put it on a level playing field.
Yes.
But no, Joe Hogsett, who is the mayor of Indianapolis, he's a great mayor, not quite as good as me, but he's pretty good.
Talk your bleep, Mayor
Yes.
Tom Henry.
Yes.